More problems for the Lions. They are already 0-5. Now, Frank Ragnow declared out for the rest of the season. What is this going to do for the team? We're already going in the wrong direction. Jeff, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, my thoughts. Let me just read off the injury reserve. All right, this is getting ridiculous. All right, Frank Ragnow. All right, Quintez Cephas. You got Taylor Decker coming off of it. Deshaun Hand, Romeo Okwara, Jeff Okudah, Kevin Straw. I mean, there's 10 guys on IR that you could possibly be seeing playing time. So it's not good news. I mean, you knew the Lions would be bad record-wise. Me and Adam talked about this all the time in terms of our predictions. What, 5? I had 6 wins. A little generous, but it is what it is. Around 5 wins. That was the common prediction for a lot of people. Now you got missing a bunch of starters. Romeo Okwara, your best pass rusher. Now Frank Ragnow. They're probably one of the most important guys to Jared Goff and to this offensive line and team in general. He's out. He's going to miss the whole season. So, and it's crazy because his last play before he got injured was the fumble pick. I don't know what that was. Butt fumble, you call it whatever you want. So that's going to eat at him all year until he gets back. But it's not good news. Definitely not. It makes the offensive line that much better. And, you want Penei Sewell to learn with having the rest of the offensive line completely healthy. Now you're missing, Frank Ragnow, Taylor Deckers. You missed 5 games so far of the season. You really only had Vaitai and Jonah Jackson there with you. And he's been on an island regardless. But it's definitely going to hurt Jared Goff the most because if we know anything about Jared Goff in general, when the offensive line's playing high, Jared Goff's playing high. I mean, he plays amazing. When he has 6 seconds to throw, the guy's lights out. But when he has any less time than that, it's a complete disaster. So, and like any other quarterback, but specifically more so Jared Goff. So this offensive line, man, it sucks. He wanted them to form the chemistry this year, get working together as a unit, because most likely they're all going to be playing together next year as well. So it hurts the team definitely. And a guy like Frank Ragnow, who is one of the best centers in the game, it's going to hurt any team he's a part of, but specifically the Lions. But this should tell us now, Adam, make the direction much more clear. Stay competitive, but don't pull an Atlanta last year. Don't win games on accident. All right.
I wouldn't even say that. I don't look. We're going to talk about Dan Campbell 5 games in. What do we think about him compared to what we thought of him going into the year?
Yep.
One thing you can't say is that they're not playing. They're playing for the coach. He's going to lose a ton of games this year. He's not losing the locker room. And the Ragnow injury really it takes a big hit on that too. I mean, your optimism would be 5-6 wins going into the year. Now with all the injuries, I mean, 0-17, I don't think it's possible. I think that would be very difficult to do with this head coach just because of how hard and how willing they are to just fight every single minute for this head coach. Now, does that translate to wins when he gets a better team around him? I think that's a different discussion. But right now, it really hurts team development that Ragnow's out for the season. And, people can pick on Penei Sewell for being a left tackle right now that's struggling. Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to be a left tackle when the offensive line is completely decimated. You have no support. You're out on an island because the other 4 need to somehow protect the quarterback, and you're on one-on-one matchups against the best edge rusher on every single team. That's quite the mouthful for a rookie. So overall, team development is really what's going to get messed up here. You can really say this is a bye year, honestly. You're going to look at Amon-Ra St. Brown, Derek Barnes, some of the younger players. We know what Swift is. We know what Hawkinson is. Where's the player development that I asked for in the beginning of the year? I can't see it because they're all hurt. I mean, you want to talk about really unfortunate injury bug? Like Dan Campbell, year 1 now, it's like it never happened. Honestly. Like, how am I supposed to sit up here, forget judging the guy. How am I supposed to evaluate that the team is improving? You guys can tell me they're playing hard, Adam. Okay, guys, like, that's going to get old real quick, I promise you. It's not about just the fact that they're playing hard. I told you, they're going to lose a lot of games. He's not losing the locker room, though. They're going to play for this coach. But you need players to win games, too. And they don't have any right now. Anybody that you were excited about is likely hurt. Penei Sewell likely moving back to right tackle. And in an experiment year that, let's be honest, the team's winning, 1, 2, 3 games at the most?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okuda.
This is really
the tough
frustrating.
one.
I really wanted this year to be the year where, again, don't look at the win-loss record, guys. Honestly, don't look at the win-loss record, but how are the individual players improving? Are we more fundamental as a team? Less penalties? Are we committing less penalties? Are we shooting ourselves in the foot less? Are we good in late game situations? Are we improving at least? 17 games go by this year. I'm not sure if I can tell you if they've improved or not, because half the players that are playing right now aren't going to be on the roster next year. And it drives me nuts. Like, I really wanted this year to be where I can just evaluate individual player development. And I can't even do that. And now we're sitting here with the head coach who will probably lose 13, 14 games. Hopefully they overhaul in the offseason with talent. They add more. And I think 5, 6, 7 wins is achievable next year, even with Jared Goff as your quarterback. Why? I really think they're going to have an A-, even an A offseason. I really think so. You have 2 first-round picks. You've got a ton of draft capital. You've got leverage with Decker. Do you trade him after June 1st for a second-round pick the following year or a first? I don't know what his trade value is in the market. But the Lions have options. Again, this is a team that you don't expect to compete until year 3. Year 1's a wash, and really now you might have to extend it, to be fair. He basically lost year 1. All he did was prove that he can keep a locker room together, which is good. It's an important factor of being a head coach, but it's not everything. Anthony Lynn right now is showing that he can't do anything with really good talent on the offensive side of the ball. And Aaron Glenn is somehow putting together schemes and packages that are somehow keeping the Vikings, the Ravens, and excuse me if I forgot, the Bears, really keeping them to scoring a low amount of points through games. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
They've allowed, 19 points twice this year, 24 against the Bears. This team doesn't make any sense right now, and I'm not sure what I'm going to pull away from it. Honestly, at the end of the year, even if they're 2-15, that's not me judging Dan Campbell, but, like, where's the individual growth that, like, outside of Amon-Ra St. Brown, Derek Barnes, the obvious ones?
Right.
What am I looking forward to? Penei Sewell? Okay, you're moving him to right tackle, so I can't even be harsh on him. I can't evaluate him. It's a new position. I really wanted this year to be a developmental year.
It's going to have to be game to game, just seeing how they improve. Like you said earlier, committing less penalties. Are you being more efficient, especially towards the end of ball games? I mean, that's the little stuff. But more importantly, to your point, Frank Ragnow, that loss hurts, but it doesn't hurt as much as a Jeff Okuda, because Frank Ragnow, we know what Frank Ragnow is. He's one of the best centers in the game. He's going to come back next year, be one of the best centers in the game, as I projected. But in terms of Jeff Okuda, that hurts, because those are guys that iffy, obviously, like those guys you need to see this year and see them improve game to game. So
this is
that one hurts.
Your thoughts on Dan Campbell? And here's how I'm going to phrase this question.
Okay.
Can we all agree this year is, a year where you really can't judge the guy?
No.
Now, if he goes out and makes like a mistake every single game, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Individual.
Well, yeah, like, then that you can kind of like nitpick on if you want. But you can look at his record at the end of the year and say, well, that doesn't reflect like the job he's done, because let's be honest, half the team was hurt. But what happens next year if they don't win 7-8 games? And they do finish 3-14. Wait, hear me out.
I got you.
4-13, even 5-12, and his record in 2 years is what? 7-27. And you're like, whoa. And then it's like, we're gonna give him the 3rd year, but they only win 8 that year. It's like, well, shit. Like, what do we do? Year 1 was I can't. Am I giving him another year? Year 4? I think I have to. If he shows the improvement. Yeah. Now, this is why. This year is a wash. All I know is that this guy can keep a locker room together. But can he keep a locker room together when the locker room knows they're good enough to win? Right now, the locker room knows they should be losing every game, or damn near every game. So, they're going to, guys, we're growing together. Let's improve. Like, that's the camaraderie right now. But what happens when you actually have a roster full of talent with the expectation of winning 8, 9, 10 games, trying to compete for the division, and the losses add up? It's a result-based business at the end of the day. I'm not going to kill him for year 1, but geez, these amount of injuries, like, I said Dan Campbell by year 3, we'll know if he's going to be the head coach or not, or if he's even capable of being one. I might have to push it to 4 years. and I don't want to do that.
We'll see. We'll see.
Again, it's tough. This year is a complete wash.
It is. It is.
Well, guys, honestly, Detroit Lions fans, hear me out. Are you really just looking for this year and saying, wow, we played hard. That's all that matters? Like, that's not what you want to take away. You want to see, like, players develop.
Yep.
You want to see players enter, you want to see, like, significant improvement from the rookies from last year.
I want to see a culture.
And everybody's, like, hurt. The culture, I think, is there. It's
coming together.
I think he's got that figured out.
Yeah.
Can he put together a product on the field it's going to win football games, consistently? I don't think you can evaluate realistically till maybe year 3. And that kills me to say because that is a long time. But where you're going to stay the course, I'm going to stay the course. I'm going to judge him probably by Thanksgiving of next year. I'll see, like, if this team is, like, improving in the ways I'd like to see. Hopefully they don't have another disaster year like this year where everybody's hurt next year. Then I'm just going to pull the hair out of my head. Like, I can't watch football anymore. If they have the same injuries they have this year or the next year, how am I supposed to evaluate anything? Honestly. So that's what's troubling for me is, all I figured out this year is Dan Campbell can coach a team. Even if they lose, he'll still keep the locker room. That I know. I already know that Jared Goff's a bum. He's a bridge quarterback. He'll be gone in 2 years. Check. Jeff Okudah, already a bust. Hopefully he turns out to at least a good corner.
Yeah, that's what you hope for.
Right? Maybe even above good. That'd be great. I would love that. But he's already missed his first 2 years. It's not looking good. Penei Sewell. What are you doing with Penei Sewell? Is he a right tackle for 2-3 years and then you're moving him back when Deckard leaves? What are we doing? Like, these are the things I'd like to figure out. These are the things I think are very important. We've seen the defense improve week to week for the last 3 weeks. The offense has regressed since the first game.
And they suffered the same amount of injuries. I mean, it ain't like it's just all offensive side of the ball.
But the offense still has weapons.
Yeah.
Why can Kirk Cousins put it together with an average offensive line and Dalvin Cook out in the lineup, but Jared Goff can't with very similar weapons outside the wide receiver position? I mean, it's not even close there, but you have a Hawkinson. You have dual threat running backs. Why can't you figure it out? Why can't you get creative? Somebody please tell me.
I think, you know what my little prediction is before we go? I think in the next couple of years, Dan Campbell's got to get that offensive coordinator,
I think
Joe
he believes
Brady.
in Anthony Lynn. I disagree. I think
Anthony
he's sold on Anthony Lynn, and I don't know if that's a good thing for them.
I think Anthony Lynn's here to get his next head coaching job. I don't know where it is, if it's
How?
in college or anywhere else. He's not going to be the Lions' offensive coordinator.
If I'm a GM,
yeah.
Why would I hire Anthony Lynn? I watched him take Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, that's on them.
And win, 4 or 5 games? Go to Detroit with an abundance of weapons outside of the wide receiver position, and still couldn't figure out how to score more than 17 points a game.
Oh yeah, I don't know where.
Like, why would I hire him? Seriously, like I don't. I think he's here to stay for the next 2-3 years.
But that's my point. If you just stated all those facts, he shouldn't be a Detroit Lions offensive coordinator. If he's struggling,
don't be careful what you say. I mean, you're gonna get mauled on Twitter. Like
no,
I'm
just saying. In the next couple of years, if Anthony Lynn is not able to put it together, I mean, what are we doing?
Well,
I mean,
so here's the dilemma before we go. This is the dilemma with Dan Campbell, right? He's not the defensive guru. He's not the offensive.
So you need
guru.
gurus.
So you need guys around you that can give you that.
Yeah.
And he's trusting in the people around him. Again, what leaders do. I trust the people around me to make sure that we're having a good show. He's trusting the people around him to make sure that he has a good product on the field. But he has to be good enough to hold the defensive side and the offensive side accountable.
Yep.
Can he do that? It's too early to tell, and I don't know, and I question it. And I hope he can, because he'll be very successful if he can. But right now, I don't know the answer to it. I'm more inclined to question it than I am to agree with it. So, Joanna?
Yeah, we got to take a break now. I'm hoping the Lions don't go 0-17. After the break, is Kyrie going to be able to play this season? We're going to find out. But first, we want to know if we should bet on the Lions going 0-17. Let's hear from our friends at MyBookie.
I already did. I already bet the Lions going 0-17. But guys, listen.